Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. I hope you are all doing very well. Wanted to mix it up and step out on the balcony today. A little bit of an overcast day today here on the Gold Coast, but still beautiful nonetheless. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about something that I did in my business just last week. It's Monday today, so I'm losing track of days, but last week something popped up and tried a new little strategy that something I've been wanting to do for a little while, and the opportunity arose and worked really well, and it's a cool story, so I thought I'd share it with you, and hopefully it gives you a little bit of inspiration or motivation and just shows you what's possible and how to deal with this situation that is definitely going to pop up for you in your business. Okay, so before we jump into this one, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to give the video a like if you get any value from it, and also check out the link in the description if you want to join my Facebook group. You can head to jacobcaris.com/group, and we got tons of good stuff going on over there, talking all about information marketing and growing your information business, all that kind of good stuff. So we'd love to have you over there. I'm really active in that group as well, and that's about it. So let's jump into this one. So what happened was, and this is going to happen to all of you at some point in your information business. I put a post up on Facebook, and this person saw it. I can't even remember their name. And they didn't like it, right? They didn't like what I wrote. Whatever. That's fine. That's the game of personal branding, right? If you were going to make any kind of business around yourself, your brand, you're going to be putting yourself out there. Right, you're going to be creating content. You're going to be going on video, going live, writing posts, and sharing your opinion and perspective on stuff, whatever market it is that you're in. Right, like I help people with their information business, so I talk about that stuff, and I talk about the stuff that I've achieved, and I talk about the stuff my clients have achieved. And because it's a personal brand, I talk about stuff that I'm into personally. Like I talk about the fact that I like wine, and I like football, and I talk about my a bit of my personal life as well, right? And when you do that, you're going to attract two different types of people. You're going to attract people who really like you and the way you go about it and the way you do it, right? And I've got a certain style, and other people have certain styles. But you're also going to have people who read your stuff, watch your stuff, consume your stuff, read your emails, whatever, and they just don't like you, right? They don't like your style, they don't like what you said, they don't like how you said it, they don't like how you look, how you dress, they don't like whatever, right? It's gonna happen. It happens in the personal branding game. Anyway, so this guy left a snide comment on one of my posts about me being a capitalist plug. Took me a little while to figure out what the actual insult was, if you could call it that. But anyway, he was implying that I was somewhat of a capitalist mouthpiece based on the photo. Anyway, it's going to happen. It's fine. I've had it that many times at this point that it does not bother me in the slightest. But what it does present is an opportunity, right? So when someone comes at you or your brand or your product or your service, you can actually use it as a really powerful opportunity to bond further with your existing audience. Okay, now if you followed my stuff for any length of time, or you've purchased any of my things, if we've done coaching or consulting or whatever, you're going to know that I'm a fan of Ben Settle's stuff. I bought a lot of his stuff, a lot of his expensive books. I'm a subscriber to his newsletter. I've done a review on one of his books on this channel. He's just got a really cool perspective on things, and I resonate with his very direct, blunt, no bullshit style. And he talks about this strategy of taking people who troll you or troll your brand or your business or your products or whatever. And it's not overly aggressive stuff. It's just an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity to bond further with your audience. So he talks about how to then go and take, be it an insult or a swipe or a snide comment or whatever, and turn it into an opportunity to sell stuff, which is, what you're ultimately in business for. And so that's what I did in this case. I went into my Facebook group. The post was on my Facebook profile. And I went into my Facebook group and I said, hey, put this post on my profile. This was the response I got from someone. So in honor of that, we're going to do a capitalist plug sale. Now, the name there isn't relevant, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a capitalist plug sale. Like, it can be a sale about anything, right? If someone comes at you and they're like, oh, I don't like your t-shirt, you could turn around and go, we're going to have an ugly t-shirt sale, and because of that, you can get 25% off whatever. Like, it doesn't need to be a big thing. It's just taking the opportunity to spin a cool story, an interesting story, a funny story, and sell some stuff, right? Now, whether you make a little bit of money, this one did about $3,000 in about a day and a half on one of my products, which was cool. And I knew it would sell because, when you either give people a discount, and I put a time restriction and a space restriction on the offer as well, which is a bit of a tip, a bit of urgency, scarcity, all that kind of stuff. So whenever you do that and you've got an audience of people kind of sitting, watching what you do, you're typically going to fill it. So I knew that would happen, but that wasn't the ultimate goal. The money wasn't the ultimate goal. The goal was to be more magnetic to the people in the audience following along who already like what I do. So kind of bring them closer into the audience, and to repel the people in the audience who might be sitting on the fence going, I don't know about this guy. Okay, because one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in this game is you don't really want people sitting in that middle ground when it comes to your audience. You either want them to like you and really, 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 really like you, love you, or you want them to go, no, that person's not for me, and leave, right? The money is made in the extremes. The money is made when you repel people and when they're really attracted to you. And in some cases, they don't even really quite know why. There's just something about the way you go about it that for them is very, very appealing. One thing I hear repeatedly in my business is people appreciate my direct approach. And this is particularly relevant for people who pay me, is I have no interest in telling them what they want to hear, which sadly a lot of coaches and mentors and stuff do. I just tell them what they need to hear based on my experience. And people really, really appreciate that. Right? In a world where people are really good at sugarcoating things, some people love a direct approach. But on the flip side, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like hearing things not with a sprinkle of sugar on top to make them sound sweet and nice. Okay? And that's where you create that split, that polarity in your audience. And that was the ultimate goal of running that little sale and taking that little story, right, which wasn't bad in any way, right? Like, I've had people come at me way, way harder. This was just a little side comment, and it's fine. Like, no hard feelings towards whoever it was. I don't remember their name, but it was just funny. I laughed at it. And, kudos to them for a creative and slightly different comment. But it's what you do with that ammo. It's how you take that opportunity. And so for me, it wasn't about making a couple of sales or a couple of grand. For me, it was about, there's a cool angle here, there's a cool opportunity here, there's a cool story here that I can use to further develop my bond with the people in my audience who are following along and already really like me. I can make that even stronger, but I can also push away the people who might be going, I don't know. Because you don't want a lot of people in that middle ground. You want to nudge them off the fence either way, right? You either want to nudge them off the fence and they become a customer, or you want to nudge them off the fence and you go your separate ways. Either is fine, right? There's more than enough people out there in the world to not worry about repelling some people, right? You need to focus on that as much as attracting people. Okay, so the big overarching lesson here is when something like that happens, and it may be even worse in terms of like, you know, people trolling you or whatever, and it's going to happen. You've got one of two ways that you can handle it. You can either let it get you down and get upset and all that kind of stuff, or you can take it and go, is there an opportunity here to take this story, right? Funny little story, however big or small it is, and use it to make money if you want to. But more importantly, use it to strengthen the rapport and the connection and the relationship with your audience through content about it at scale, right? So the benefit of that little sale that I ran for a couple of days, I think I did 3 or 4 posts about it in my group. But the ultimate benefit of it wasn't the money, wasn't the sales. It was the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people that saw those posts and saw that unfold and either really liked it or really hated it. Because that's attracting and repelling accordingly, which is what I wanted to do, okay? And I know that some people loved it because I got a lot of messages about it and a lot of positive comments about it. But on the flip side, I know there would have been people who saw it and go, I don't like that, right? I think you should just let that stuff be. And that's exactly the whole point of doing it, okay? So when someone does that to you, right? If you have people that you disagree with, or someone leaves a snide comment or whatever happens, just know that you've got options, right? And you can either sit and dwell on it, right, and get frustrated and go, oh, how could they say that, blah, 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 blah. They're gonna have their reasons, whatever, it doesn't matter. Or you can take that and go, how can I turn this into a positive? How can I use this to strengthen my bond and my relationship with my audience, right? And if you do that enough, you will be able to develop a very, very strong following. One that you can monetize heavily over and over and over again for months and months and years to come, because their connection to you as a personal brand is going to be a lot stronger than people who just put out the same generic crap, right? And they never really think about, okay, well, I've got people sitting on the fence. How can I tip them either way, right? How can I tip some people further into my camp and strengthen it? And how can I tip some people further away from me and ultimately repel them because I know they're not going to be my type of people? So just think about that next time, you know, something happens in your business, and it doesn't even just have to be, you know, if someone's trolling you or whatever, right? Like a story pops up, something happens in your life, a lesson from working with a client, good or bad, a lesson from something in your life, an achievement, a failure, something from within a relationship, another business, whatever, right? Fitness, you know, you hit a goal, you miss a goal, whatever. Think, if I take this story and I can weave it into my brand, into my marketing, maybe you run a sale, maybe you don't. That was just the vehicle that I chose to deploy in this case. But how can I take that story, however little or however big it is, and use it as a mechanism to strengthen my brand and strengthen my relationship with my audience? Okay, that's the lesson for today. Think about that as you're going about your daily life, as stuff's happening, both good and bad. Think, how can I be opportunistic about this thing that's just happened, whether I like it or not, and use it as a mechanism to make my brand and my relationship with my followers stronger. Because if you take steps towards doing that every single day, through your content, through your videos, through your written posts, through your emails, through your lives, whatever, ultimately that's going to pay off in a big way in the coming months and years as you make more and more offers. Okay, that's my lesson for you today. Give the video a like if there's any value in that one for you. I'd love to see you in the Facebook group as well. Details in the description. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a good one. Cheers.